Ever wondered why we can't produce everything we want? The Production Possibility Frontier, or PPF, is a graph that shows the maximum output combinations of two goods with our limited resources. It tells us what we can and cannot produce if we use all resources efficiently. Every point on the curve shows a different trade-off between the two goods. The PPF is like the menu of an economy. You pick combinations based on available ingredients. PPF equals limits and choices. That's economics in action. Imagine a country that can make either robots or pizzas, but not unlimited amounts of both. The PPF shows all the possible combinations of these two goods. Move along the curve, you produce more of one, but less of the other. That's the trade-off. Points on the curve equals efficiency. Points inside equals wasted resources. That's the Productive Possibilities Frontier, or PPF, a visual map of limits and choices in the real world. Look closely. Most PPFs are curved, not straight. Why? Because resources aren't equally good at producing every good. As we shift resources to make more robots, we give up larger amounts of pizza, and vice versa. This increasing trade-off creates that outward bow. The shape of the PPF tells us about opportunity costs and why choices matter. Sometimes a PPF isn't curved at all, it's straight. A straight PPF means each trade-off between goods costs the same amount every time. This happens if resources are equally good at producing both goods, which is rare. Most real-life PPFs are bowed, but comparing shapes helps you see the cost structure. Straight line equals constant cost. Curve equals increasing cost. If resources were unlimited, we wouldn't need a PPF. But in reality, resources are scarce. The PPF shows those limits. Scarcity means every choice along the curve comes with a trade-off. You can't have everything. The PPF is a map of what's possible and what's not. Scarcity plus choices equals economics. That's why the PPF mattered. To build a PPF, start simple. Choose two goods you want to compare. Why two? Because the PPF shows trade-offs. Making more of one means less of the other. Your economy can only make so many pizzas or robots with its limited resources. Choosing the two goods defines the x-axis and y-axis of your PPF graph. Step 1. Pick two goods and prepare to see the trade-offs. Now, figure out all possible combinations your economy can produce. For example, with all resources on pizza, maybe 100 pizzas and 0 robots. Split resources, you might get 10 robots and 80 pizzas, or 20 robots and 60 pizzas. Each point is one possible production mix using all resources. Step 2, plot those points. They define your PPF. Once you have your points, connect them smoothly. The curve you see is the Production Possibility Frontier, your economy's limit. Every point on the curve means all resources are fully used and efficiently. Inside the curve, resources are being wasted. Step 3, connect the points and reveal the trade-offs. On a PPF graph, each axis shows one of the goods you're producing. A point at the bottom means 0 robots, all pizzas. A point on the side means 0 pizzas, all robots. Points in between show different combinations of both goods. The slope between points shows how much of one good you must give up to get the other. Reading axes equals understanding your trade-offs. The PPF is basically a menu of all your economy's choices. It shows the maximum goods you can make, given your resources. Move along the curve and you trade one good for another. That's opportunity cost. Every choice comes with a cost. And the PPF shows it clearly. PPF equals limits plus choices. That's economics in one graph. Every point on the PPF represents a choice between two goods. Moving from one point to another means you gain some of one good, but lose some of the other. What you give up is your opportunity cost, the value of the next best alternative. The PPF makes this trade-off visible with every slope on the curve. Remember, no choice is free. Every step along the curve costs something. Let's say a country can make pizzas or robots. Point A, 40 robots and 0 pizzas. Point B, 35 robots and 20 pizzas. Moving from A to B means you gain 20 pizzas, but give up 5 robots. The opportunity cost of those 20 pizzas? The 5 robots you lost. PPF makes the trade-off crystal clear. More pizza equals fewer robots. The slope of the PPF is more than just a line. It's the measure of opportunity cost. A steep slope means you give up a lot of one good for just a little of the other. A flat slope means the trade-off is smaller. As you move along the curve, the slope changes, and so does the opportunity cost. Slope equals trade-off. Watch the slope to see the cost. Have you noticed the PPF is usually curved? That's because as you produce more of one good, the cost of the other good increases. Resources are specialized. Switching them means giving up more and more of the other good. That's why the PPF bows out. Each extra unit costs more of the other. This shows how opportunity cost grows as you push production. The PPF is really just a big picture of opportunity costs. Every move along the curve tells you what you must give up to get more of something else. It's like a visual opportunity cost calculator. The curve itself is shaped by those costs. That's why it bends. PPF equals a graph of opportunity cost in action. Not every point on a PPF graph is efficient. Points inside the curve, called interior points, mean resources aren't fully used. It's like making 20 pizzas and 10 robots, when you could make 30 pizzas and 15 robots with the same effort. Interior points represent inefficiency or waste. To maximize output, you need to get on the PPF curve, not stay inside it. Why would an economy produce inside the production possibilities frontier? Causes include unemployment, broken equipment, or poor management of resources. For example, if 20% of workers are jobless, you're not using all labor resources. These issues keep the economy from reaching its full potential on the frontier. Fixing inefficiency means moving back onto the PPF curve. How do we get from an interior point to the curve? We use resources better, more workers, less waste, and smarter production. For example, fixing a broken machine lets you produce more goods without extra inputs. Efficiency improvements push the economy onto the PPF curve. From waste to full capacity, that's the move to the curve. Interior points equals underused resources. Frontier points equals full efficiency. Being on the curve means all resources, labor, land, capital, are maxed out. Being inside means you're leaving output on the table, wasting potential. Every move from interior to frontier increases production of one or both goods. Interior versus frontier. Think waste versus efficiency. Stuck inside the PPF curve? Here's how to fix it. Train workers, repair machines, and use smarter methods. Better resource allocation moves production outward to the frontier. Efficiency means using every tool, every hour, every resource. Fix inefficiency and you'll hit the frontier, your economy's full potential. What about points outside the PPF? Are they possible? Points beyond the curve mean producing more of both goods, but with current resources, they're impossible. We'd need new technology, more resources, or both to get there. Beyond the PPF is the dream, maximum production with better capabilities. For now, it's a goal, not a reality. Want to reach beyond today's PPF? You need more resources, more workers, more land, or more capital, or better technology that helps you make more with what you have. When these improvements happen, the entire PPF shifts outward. More resources or tech equals more possibilities. A growing economy is like expanding your PPF menu. More workers, better machines, or improved skills allow more of both goods. The curve shifts outward, meaning more robots and more pizzas are possible. This outward shift shows real economic growth. Growth equals new possibilities on the frontier. Technology is a PPF superpower. Better tools or machines let you produce more goods with the same inputs. For example, new farming tech means more food and more manufactured goods. This pushes the PPF outward, more of everything without extra resources. Tech innovation equals a bigger frontier. Want a bigger PPF? Get more resources. More land for farming, more workers, or more capital goods all push the frontier out. You can produce more of both goods, robots and pizzas, for example. The economy's potential grows with every new resource. Resources plus growth equals bigger possibilities. A nation's PPF shows how it balances competing priorities. For example, producing more tanks often means fewer hospitals or schools. Every move on the curve is a trade-off between defense and social programs. If a country produces inside its PPF, it's wasting potential. PPF helps visualize national choices and their opportunity costs. Think you don't have a PPF? Think again. Your time is limited. Study more and you have less time for friends or sports. Your personal PPF shows the trade-offs you make every day. Interior points? That's wasted time, like scrolling endlessly on TikTok. You live your PPF. It's your time budget. A business also has a PPF. Make more of product A and you'll produce less of product B with the same resources. Every point on the curve shows a different product mix. Tech upgrades or more workers can shift the curve outward. PPF equals the map of a company's production trade-offs. Even athletes have a PPF. Train for strength and you give up some endurance. Focus on endurance and you lose some power. Each training plan is a point on their PPF curve. Better coaching or training techniques can shift the curve outward. PPF explains the trade-offs in athletic performance. The production possibility frontier shows choices, limits, and trade-offs. Points on the curve equals efficiency. Inside equals wasted resources. Outside equals growth goals. It connects directly to opportunity cost. What you give up for what you gain. Tech improvements or new resources push the PPF outward. PPF is the blueprint of economics, limits and possibilities in one graph. Imagine one cherry tree, one pear tree, and just 1 hour to harvest. If you spend the full hour picking cherries, you can get 300 cherries. If you spend the hour picking pears, you'll only get 100 pears. The opportunity cost of 1 hour on cherries? 100 pears. For 1 hour on pears, 300 cherries. This trade-off sets the stage for our PPF graph. The production possibility frontier shows the maximum output of two goods. The y-axis shows cherries, and the x-axis shows pears. Plot point A, 300 cherries, 0 pears. Plot point B, 0 cherries, 100 pears. Moving between these points shows our opportunity cost. This is our starting PPF, cherries versus pears. It's easier to pick low-hanging fruit first. 10 minutes on cherries, 50 on pears equals 100 cherries and 95 pears. 30 minutes each equals 200 cherries and 70 pears. 50 minutes on cherries, 10 on pears equals 290 cherries and 20 pears. Connect the points, that's your PPF curve. Moving from 100 cherries, 95 pears to 200 cherries, 70 pears. You gain 100 cherries, but give up 25 pears. From 200 cherries, 70 pears to 290 cherries, 20 pears. You gain 90 cherries but lose 50 pears. The opportunity cost rises. The curve's shape shows increasing opportunity costs. What if our worker got lazy? They only picked 100 cherries and 35 pears. This point is inside the PPF. It's inefficient. With the same time and effort, they could have picked much more. Inside the curve equals wasted potential. Can we get 250 cherries and 80 pears? Not with current tools or time. It's beyond today's PPF. But what if we innovate? Shake the trees instead of handpicking. Suddenly, we can produce more of both. The PPF shifts outward. Tech equals growth. That's how we reach new frontiers.